coming into, then it's important for you to listen to our people give their reports. So if you were here yesterday, I think I should give a quick recap of everything. So let me do that. For the benefit of everyone, I'm just going to breeze through. Then we hear from Tomiwa and a few of our friends on things. We started yesterday with this wonderful picture. This is when, on the right, is when we did our first get together. You see, I see Bisola, Charles, Tony, Gabriel, Jesumbo, Motun, Vivian, and Peter. And these other things are projects that we did this year, the photo project and the bootcamp. This is Professor Chaya that spoke with us on the bootcamp. And so we started with stating our housekeeping, which is that this event lasts for 4 days. And we mentioned that if you want to win the prize of $100, you have to generate 5 questions each day that we share with others. Now, thankfully, Francis has been able to give us a means, rules and regulation for this, and we have posted it on the group. So just from a conversation every day, generate 5 questions. And when people answer your questions, mark that and submit it to me, and I will announce the winner. And then we talked about this video.
The society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they know they will never sit in. Good people do things for other people. That's it, the end.
Important video. Then we talked about what PFF stands for, the history. Oh, wait a minute, I went mute for a moment. We talked about the history of PFF from our initial projects in 2014 to the time we started the photo project in 2017 till today. And we talked about our arms and organizational goals. We talked about our vision and mission. These pictures are from the projects that we did this year. This is Dr. Gideon. I don't know why I wanted to call him Pastor Gideon, but he might as well become a pastor. Pastor, doctor, reverend. So if he's a pastor, he'll not be a reverend father because he actually has children. So that's Reverend Father, Dr. Gideon. And this is our Women Leadership Forum project. We answered the question, who is PFF targeted at? Children and young people. What does PFF provide? Education and leadership. Where do we do this? Nigeria first, Africa, then the whole world. We mentioned that you can participate in PFF and this vision can belong to you. PFF projects are divided into 2 main prongs, our educational programs and our leadership programs. And when we give our reports, you are going to find that these 2 project prongs define everything that we do. This is last year's See Your Future From Now. This year, the See Your Future From Now project took a different turn. What is a volunteer supposed to do? We talked about responsibilities, our expectations from you, and things like that. We talked about what is in it for you as a PFF volunteer. So I'll have our people talk about what they benefited. And I mentioned 3 things that we need from you as somebody that is connected to PFF. The first thing is that we want you to develop. We want you to graduate with a first class, preferably, or a very high 2-1. I want you to show up for our projects. We also want you to talk to others about what PFF is doing. Show up means when we need you to be present in any of our conversations, be there. Then talk to others, tell people about us. They may join, they may not join, that's okay, just tell them. You don't need to clobber them over the head with a hammer, but just tell them, you know. Then we talked about the people that work with us at PFF. Some of our brethren, we have given portfolios to. Now, this does not mean that we are paying them. We are not paying anybody. They are working of their own hearts. And some of them are doing a good job. Some are not doing a very good job. And we are hoping that all of that will change. If you're not doing a good job, we want you to start doing a very good job. Right. Then we start our conversation today. So a number of people have hinted at them to have I've already hinted at our brethren to pop in and lead us in some conversations. So a few days ago, we were having a meeting and Tomiwa mentioned the importance of plugging in, being able to know how the project runs. And I'm going to invite him to mention this, to let us know, explain this in detail so that I will join him and talk about this. So Tomiwa, if you're here, I would like you to, oh, he's here already. I'd like you to lead us on very quickly on this conversation, just for like 5 minutes. Explain what being able to plug in will mean to all of us so that we can take it from there.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I can.
All right. My name is Tomiwa Jiboye. I'm a lawyer and I've been part of PFF, I think, since 2020, 2021, if I remember correctly. And how did it all start? I think Mr. Sop, then I was still in school. I think I was in my final year. In the Faculty of Law, OAU, Ife. He needed, I think, someone to help undo the social media space for PFF. And that's how I came in. You know, it was like an extra gig for me. I was managing the PFF website, the PFF Instagram and I think Facebook also. And I didn't expect so much. You know, it was just for me then, it was just an extra source of income. But I love to be part of things like that, to plug into NGOs and NGOs particularly that, they undertake the kind of things that PFF does. I was in PFF, I was also part of one other NGO. It was just my thing, being part of things like that. But I didn't understand the severity or the essence. I didn't understand the fullness of what I was doing. I was just doing it. And fast forward 4 years later, I was making applications and I was applying for something, an international opportunity. And they were asking for volunteer opportunities. And it was at this moment it occurred to me that, oh, this experience I've gathered over the years, really amounts to something. It didn't add up for me then. But now, when I was making that application, it all made sense for me. And for anyone, whether it's an international opportunity or you are just generally going to be making applications in the nearest future, trust me, if you decide to plug in, there's so much in store for you. There's so much. Now, that is even just from one angle. Now, there are a number of activities that PFF participates in. There are seminars, there are workshops, the humanitarian services, there's the photo outreach. There's so many of them. And now, aside the fact that you can add these activities when you are part of it, you can add this to your CV. You can say, oh, I was part of this outreach, I was part of UFODO, I was part of this. Aside that, you learn valuable skill sets. Like, I mean, you learn organizing, how to organize, how to talk to people, how to relate with people, how to basically plan a program from point A to point Z. you might not fully understand what this means, but these are valuable life lessons. So you have to plug in. And the way PFF is structured, no one is going to beg you to plug in. No one is going to say, oh, please, we need you to plug in. The fact remains that PFF is moving forward. It's the wheels are intact. Whether you plug in or not, things will get done. That's just it. I'm sorry to say, but things will get done. Whether you plug in or not, things will get done. That's the grace God has given PFF. Things will always get done. But you have to just plug in. It's in your best interest to plug in. Now, no one needs to ask you questions. No one needs to beg you to plug in. Just make up your mind. I'm going to be part of this thing. Now, like I mentioned, there are a number of programs, number of projects that you can plug in. You can reach out to whether Mr. Sop or Bisola or anyone on the team and say, this particular project I would like to plug in. Now, I would like to add this at this point then. Don't just plug into a specific project. Plug into PFF as a whole. Don't just plug into a unit of PFF. Plug into the whole body. And there are a lot of benefits to doing this. You are garnering experience, very valuable experience. Trust me. So there's this new phase that I'll be undertaking in PFF, and I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. More than 3 years with PFF, and I'm going to be Mr. Sop. When I spoke the other day, and he said, oh, Tomiwa, you'll be helping us with this. And I'm excited about this task because if I'm going to be selfish, the skill set I will learn from this experience, oh my God, it's going to be very valuable to my own life. And that's it for you. If you want to even approach this from a selfish mindset, you stand a lot to gain. But of course, you're not living just for yourself. You're living for others. There's so much, there's so much that you can give. Don't shortchange yourself. There's so much you can benefit from PFF, and there's so much that you can give. There's so much within you. You just have to plug in. Plug in. You can say, oh, I don't have I don't know what to do. I don't have any specific skill set. Just plug in. You don't need to be skillful in anything. Just plug in. Your help will be needed one way or the other. Be that willing person that whenever Mr. Sop has a project, your name should just come to mind that, oh no, Priscilla, oh no, Ineka, oh no, let me get our names now. Oh, Chima is going to plug in. Oh, Joseph, no, definitely. Anthony is going to be involved. Anthony is always a willing person. Be that person in PFF. Be that person in PFF. I've said it. If you want to approach it from a self-centered approach, see, there's a lot to get benefits. But of course, we know we have to be more than that. This journey, this PFF journey is more than us. There's so much lives that we can touch. And PFF is going places. I hope you know that PFF is an international organization. It's not restricted. PFF is not restricted to Nigeria. And it's a beautiful thing to be associated with PFF. So I say one last time, plug in, plug yourself to what is happening in PFF. Thank you, Mr. Sop, for the opportunity.
All right. So what he's trying to say is that if you are a part of what we are doing, you should want to be a part of it. Like, it's really important for us that you understand on your own terms what exactly you are signing up for. And what we normally would do, we do a lot of interviews. We want to make sure you are consenting to what we're doing. Because we are not going to say, because you want to work with us, you should be very carefree with the kind of work you do. You have to bring your A game as well. We are not going to take somebody who doesn't want to do things very well, or somebody who believes, oh, I can always cut corners. It's just, Nigeria, we can quickly cut the cut. No, no, no. You have to do something that is internationally standardized. So if you do it very, very well, if we bring a professor of medicine in Harvard, he will not do it any better. If we bring that thing you did is how it is done. And so plugging in means understand how things are being done, learn experiences that will benefit you. And he's making a very valuable point where he says that there are many experiences you can get from what we do here that will benefit you. Take, for example, our project planning. I tell my friends who work with us that the way we plan a project from start to finish is how you can plan your life. Or if you want an outcome in school, just plan it like that. These are things you will do 1 year before the time. Take, for example, if you are looking for a result in 2026, and we are in the ending of 2024, you start planning from now for that result you want in 2026. That's how our projects are planned. The Women Leadership Forum we are planning, we didn't start planning it this year. It started last year, June, right? And so we had the project in May of 2024, but a lot of meetings, a lot of talking, a lot of this and that before we even got there. You see how the project unfolds in real time, right? And so be a part of what is happening. Tell yourself, I'm going to be a part of what is happening. And when you are a part of what is happening, it's really easy for you to be somebody that is top of mind. We believe in you. We know you are trustworthy. Sad to say, so many young people are not trustworthy. And I know many of you are works in progress. But there are a few of us here in this call who are not really very trustworthy. You give them projects, it's going to suffer without a lot of support and looking at. And we work with those people, build them up so that you become very proud and confident in yourself and you learn how to set goals. Building yourself through building a project is what I am very peculiar with. Once a young person gets it, I know I can rely on this person to do things. Take Francis, for example. If Francis, I put Francis on a task, I don't worry about it. I know he will deliver. I'm giving you an example because he is really able to bring out his A game. And he is a very sound person. He takes instruction. He says, how do I do this to make it really good? And it didn't start like that, obviously. But now you can be sure that he's somebody that is very trustworthy, somebody that can always deliver, somebody that is on top of the project he's been given and is going to do his very best. And you can be sure that somebody that has that lifestyle will succeed in his own life. It's true. If you are somebody that don't take things serious, if you don't take things serious, if you classify things you take serious, I was telling Bisola, say, if there is a person who takes serious only what they are being paid for, you are going to ooze off on seriousness in one way or the other. Take, for example, if you are somebody that, oh, there are things I take serious, there are things I don't take serious. It's possible that those things you don't take serious can aggregate and become critical to your life. And when people are mentioning, oh, this person doesn't take things serious, they would not have known the part of you that take other things serious. So what do I mean by that? If you are given a project, tell us whether you have time to do that project. Tell us, can this work? Tell us, I don't know what to do. Communicate with us. Tell us. And this is my second point here. Check in. Communicate. Let us know. In that way, in your own life, you already know how to carry on. In your life, you know how to carry on. You know how to hold your own. Right? And it's really important if you are going to work with us, because we mainly work online. We don't work in person. You don't see me. You have to check in on WhatsApp, check in on emails, be present in meetings. When meetings like this are held, don't come 10 minutes before the time. Don't be the person that they give excuses for. Oh, his network is bad. Everything I do, I take it serious. I joke a lot, oh. And you know, some of you that have been with me for a long time, you know, I always say, the serious thing about you should not be your face. It's not when, if they say get serious, don't fold your face and say, oh, he has a folded face. That is not a serious person. Seriousness is when you are able to be there, deliver on projects that you were given. So if you tell me that you want to speak to me today, I will tell you when I have time, and I will show up then and we will talk. It doesn't matter whether you are the president of Nigeria or you are somebody that just finished work. For me, everything is serious. Everything. Everybody. If I don't have time, I will tell you. If you send me a message, I will reply. I will take my time sometimes, but I will always reply. I take things seriously because everything is serious. I can learn from anybody. I can learn from you. I can learn from a toddler, for example. I can learn from anybody. There is nobody that is too little for me. God forbid. Everybody is important. I will call you sir. I'll call you madam. I will treat you with respect, no matter who you are. You know. So I don't treat you with respect because you have money. No. Even if you don't have money, even if you want to ask me for money, I'll still treat you with respect because you matter as a person. And if I have that mindset with people, it's easy for me not to fall into disrespecting people. Let me give you an example. There was a university I was in, and one day I was on the balcony and I saw the dean of the faculty, but he was dressed very low, and I just greeted him. Hello, sir, how are you doing? I greeted him like that, and I went to his office, waiting for the dean. That man I greeted now came in. I didn't even know it was him. And he was the dean. If I did not think he was deserving of respect because of how he was dressed, I would have been embarrassed when I came in front of him. But I'm not respecting him because of he's the dean. I'm respecting him because that's how I am. And that is also because I respect myself. When I give you my word, I try to ensure that my word happens. You can't say, you, Uncle Sop, I'll take care of this project, and you are not doing it. Even if I like you very much, you're also showing that you're not a serious person. That is the truth. And I know it takes a lot of time to train people to come to that point, and that's okay. I'm going to train you. But you must understand these principles. When you say you are going to do something, do it. If you tell yourself, I will sweep my room today, sweep it. Write out the things you want to do for the day. Write it down. Do it. Do it. I will sweep the room, sweep it. I will call my mom, call her. I'll call my dad, call her. I'll send message to my brother. Do it. Do it. Take yourself seriously and transmit that seriousness to other people. How many of you here are following our Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn? And how many people have checked our website before? What I'll do now is I'll give you an opportunity. I'll just go on a 4 minutes break. Everybody on this call, go on our social media. Follow all the pages. Go on our Instagram, follow it. Go on our Facebook, follow it. Go on our LinkedIn, follow it. And then check our website, because I'm going to ask everybody. You will tell me one thing you discovered from each. Just quickly, don't check anything else, so don't be distracted. Just go to Twitter, search Precious Fountain Foundation, PFF Nigeria, follow it. Go to Instagram, search Precious Fountain Foundation, follow it. Come out. Don't stay. Don't stick around. Don't scroll. Don't do anything. Go to LinkedIn if you do have. If you don't have LinkedIn, you should have, because everybody here is supposed to have. Go to Precious Fountain Foundation and follow it. I want to see if we are going to see 17 upticks on our followership count right now. I'll give you some time and I'll get back. Go and follow everything. Go. Did you hear me, Bisola, Charles, Chineye, Deborah, Elon, Esom, Chima,
Yes.
Moses,
What about people that is already following?
Then go there and check our website. Find out something new that you've seen today. Go and follow all our pages right now. Go. Don't talk. Don't stick around. Don't hang around any social media, because sometimes you get distracted when you start doom scrolling. Don't do that. Just pop in and pop out only. Pop in, follow, pop out. Don't respond to your friend's urgent text. Don't do that. Just follow our pages right now. Do it right now. Let me check whether our followership will increase. I'll give just 4 minutes. And we're back. So how many people followed our pages? If you know you followed, give a reaction. Give a reaction on the chat or wherever. Okay. I see Esom. Who else followed any of our pages? Anyone else? Anyone else? Who followed any of our pages? Charles, did you follow any page? Deborah, tell me, what page did you follow? Yeah, December. Ellen, which ones did you follow?
Can you hear me? Because
Yes, December, go for it.
yes, I've followed all of our pages before now.
Okay, good. Or let's just say she followed on LinkedIn yesterday and on Facebook she's been with us in a long time. Okay, good. Um, who is remaining here? Jachi, have you followed all our pages? Peter Lotono. Have you followed all our pages? Mr. Peter?
Yeah, good evening, Uncle Soap. I'm a steady follower, sir. I follow the pages.
Ah, good. Now, how do you feel now you followed our pages? I guess you feel good. You feel great. So I want to ask you a question, all of you on this call with me. What else do you think we need to inculcate? I think Bisola should talk to us about some things. Why? Because Bisola is our manager, so she will know one or two things that we need to do more of. Bisola, do you want to mention one or two things?
Yes, I would like to mention one or two things.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. First of all, I would say good evening, everyone, once again. It's nice having this time with everyone. I was even thinking that if we all have lights by the end of this session, we can open up our videos and take group selfies to mark this day. Okay, that's just for the fun of it. So I would like to mention that so far, your contributions have really made us achieve so much more in areas where distance was a barrier, kind of, okay, when we are not in a particular city and we need people to represent, we had people to call on and they really helped. And joining hands to make some projects really work, it's been a wonderful experience with everyone here that has been with us before now. You have really shown that you can really
Um, I think that's Happy Independence Day to Bisola. Now that network has locked her out. How is it that we are not able to? How old is Nigeria now? 64 years old man. And we can't fix internet. And Francis is telling me happy. All right, let me calm down. Francis, what kind of independence is this independence that we can't fix light and internet? Bisola, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back. I was just trying to yab this guy who was wishing me happy independence.
Thank you. So, yeah, I would say there are times we have to take on projects, we have to lead projects, and the truth is sometimes we hadn't been really given the necessary feedbacks. Okay, usually when we have projects that we have to do, Uncle Sop usually send in your proposal to like include timelines and the rest. So that's basically what project management is about, is doing something at a particular time with some resources, taking in the possible risks into consideration. So when you have timelines for this project, it is required of you to provide feedbacks, like check in with us that this is what I've done so far. If possible, on weekly basis, even if you didn't do anything for the week, you just like, okay, I've been trying to work this out and I'm waiting because this happened and this doesn't happen. So it's not a way of monitoring. No, nobody's here to arrest anybody. It's a way of making you really be accountable for what you agreed to do. So I think we can always do better. And we are working on having a template on how you can report milestones. We have project milestones. Maybe a project is meant to run for 3 months. At least for a first month, there's supposed to be a particular milestone you have covered. The second month, third month. So is at the initial point of the project that you create this timeline. So when you are able to give your check-ins, like when you check in with us, you would be able to review if you actually met your milestones, if you met the duration you kept for the project or not, what needs to be done. And that will also help us to know where to come in to help you overcome some challenges that you might be facing. Of course, we don't expect you to be perfect. Everybody learned on the job. I also learned on the job. We are all work in progress, and hands-on training, hands-on experience helps you to get better Of course, when you always report the challenges you face, we can always find a way out of it. It might just be somebody that will just be like, okay, why don't you try this way? Oh, I didn't think about it that way. So if we are left out of the dark, we can't really know what you are struggling with, right? And that is what team spirit is actually about. So I really want us to be more involved in what we do. And of course, you don't have to be uptight about everything. We can vibe together and enjoy what we do in PFF because it's something really fun. I see it as fun. I don't know about you. And please react to informations on the group when you are being sent messages. When you see it, kindly try to reach out as soon as you can because who knows what you might be missing out. And please get involved and let us know how you do per time. If we don't check up on you in a week, please reach out to us that, you've not checked up on me, what's going on? And we promise now on forth, we'll try to do a weekly checkups on everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Bisola, for that. An important thing is to just go with us and help us to serve you better. We are not like the United Nations. We don't have their money and we don't have that level of funding. We need your help. Like this is one place where you are actually important. You know, without you, we can't do it. You know, your boyfriend usually tells you that, but he's lying. His life is okay. He doesn't really need you like that. But we need you, you know. We at PFF need you. Without you, we can't actually do some things. Unlike your boyfriend, because he's actually good. Now, tell us how we can make things better for you. One thing we are going to change is that every project is going to start being planned 1 year in advance from now on. So if there are speakers that we need for the next year's bootcamp, we have to lock in the dates early enough. We need to know that they fit into our schedule, what we want. If there are people that we need, communities that we need to go to, or big projects that we are looking for, we are going to start planning it 1 year in advance. And we are going to require you to have some steps you're going to take just to make it easy for you so that what we are doing will be very, very, like it will be like a flex, more like. We want you to work with us in a way that is not very stressful for you. Obviously, sometimes it will actually require you to work, like you have to get down and get the work done. But again, that is part of the fun. If you really don't get things done, how would you be able to midwife something? And I want to tell you something that it is not everybody that is creative. Many people have ideas in their head, but they are not able to make that idea happen. At PFF, we actually do, and that is where you come in. Please help us achieve this and make this happen. All right, so we are going to go into our project proposal reporting, and I want to be sure all our friends are here. So if I call you, you can just show that you're here. Is Esom and Oyin present? Okay. Is Bisola just spoke. Francis, I saw you. Jason Bob, are you present with Morton? Okay, good. Chisom and Tony, are you guys present?
So I'm here.
Okay, good. Alarms, Chinere. I just spoke with Chinere, so I'm sure she's here. Deborah and Vivian, I'm sure you guys are here. I just spoke with you. Shalom and Peter. I don't know if Shalom is here, but I'm sure Peter is here. And then Dr. Gideon was present and Bisola is here as well. So let me give you an overview of these projects before we do the presentation. Our seminars hold every month. Our monthly seminars, they are on topics relating important themes that PFF is taking for that year. Every year, every month, we do one seminar talking about an important leadership theme. The point is that by the end of the year, if you followed through, you would have been a part of 16 leadership seminars. And if you practice what is inside those seminars, your life will move forward. Because of what we want to engage in PFF is an idea of consistent learning. And I put that in my own life. I've never stopped going to school since 2007. Right? Every year since 2007, I'm in school. I'm serious. And I will never stop because there's so much to learn. And if you are not learning, you start dying. I know some of you that are in university are like, oh, but Jesus, relax, relax. Once you finish your first degree, the pressure of school really reduces, but you can go to school now as a boss. But the point of going to school for me is not just to gather certificates, is to learn new things. I want to learn more things. I want to know more things. And yes, since 2007, there's never been a year I was not in school, learning something. And so the monthly seminars are our attempt at doing that. Every month, we give you a leadership nugget. By the end of the year, it forms a full chicken. Re-Strategize was a project done once by Bisola for a school she was doing her practice class for her teaching at the right level training. The bootcamp is a yearly event that we do that brings young people across different countries together. And we give them a leadership crash course, like a bootcamp course. When you finish that bootcamp, you should be able to set up a leadership event in your area and go on to become powerful. In fact, some people, there was a boy that got a master's in Manchester University, and he referenced PFF's bootcamp as one of these stepping out grounds. And it really made me feel very happy because I didn't even know him, right? But again, it was really wonderful to note that he was in a boot camp and then he felt like he needed to know how to apply things from there. That one person really made every investment in our boot camp worth it for me. See Your Future From Now is a project we do for secondary school students. We help them envision. Thank you, Vivian, for adding your voice to this conversation. I appreciate it. See Your Future From Now helps young people envision their lives. Ufodo project, we are teaching communities in Ufodo how to read. Every year, new generation of children. The pictures you saw in the first page are of our first project. Those children are no longer there. We have new ones now. The Leadership Forum for Women is a female-centered leadership project where you talk on extremely female topics. I don't know why I put the word extremely in front of that female topics. That sounds really bad. So just female topics, not extremely female topics. Annual essay competition, we do that every year. The MCU Leadership Project, Peter and Shalom headed it. It's just a way of giving back at my alma mater. And the EVDPI, the EVDP, wonderful project. Bisola will talk about that. So, Esom and Oyin, which of you will be speaking? You have just 3 minutes and then we'll ask you questions.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Esom Chukwu. I'll be the one reporting for the monthly seminars. So, Precious Fountain Foundation holds monthly seminars designed to enhance professional growth and foster a culture of continuous learning, not only within our organization, but also extending it to others. These seminars, they provide a platform for knowledge sharing and networking among students and volunteers. The primary goals of these seminars are to equip participants with latest industry, learning and leadership insights, facilitate skills development relevant to work and life, and encourage collaboration and exchange of ideas. So what went well so far this year? We have successfully held 9 seminars. The feedback collected from post-seminar surveys indicates a high satisfaction rate of 80%, showing that participants found these sessions valuable. One of the highlights has been the interactive nature of our seminars, particularly those focused on communication. It is evident that participants deeply appreciate the interactive format, which sparks engagement and learning. And however, despite the positive reception, our attendance has been lower than expected, and this is really true. With an average of just over 10 participants per session, this suggests that our publicity efforts have not reached a broad enough audience. The low turnout can be attributed to insufficient promotion and limited awareness about the seminars, even though the content and the delivery are well received. So one of the challenges that we face was in generating widespread awareness about the seminars. While we have a solid participant base, expanding that audience remains a difficulty. Effective and consistent publicity has been a challenge, which in turn has affected the number of participants. And to build on our successes, we need to focus more on the interactive aspect of our seminars, since that has been the most enjoyed format. Additionally, it is crucial to improve our publicity efforts to reach a larger audience and increase participation. We should also explore diversifying our promotional strategies, maybe perhaps utilizing social media more effectively and encouraging our community members to help spread the word. And to make all this happen, we need every support. So Oyin and I cannot do this alone. We are asking each and every one of us to repost when we request, invite others, and also be present at all the seminars, because most of the times the volunteers are not always present at the seminars. We need your help in boosting our publicity efforts so that we can bring more participants into the fold. And together, we can make the mission and vision of PFF a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for her? What exactly are the things you said are the things that didn't go well? Bishop.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
One of the things that didn't go well is our attendance. Our attendance was lower than expected. And then apart from the attendance from other people, we the volunteers have not been turning up well as well. Yeah.
Right.
And then that's like generating the widespread awareness about the seminars. Yeah.
So what has gone well?
Among the things that have done well, that have gone well, like we have successfully held 9 seminars so far, and there is a high satisfaction rate.
Okay.
That participants in the sessions like valuable and interesting. And then the highlights have been the interactive nature of our seminars. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to ask us to ask our questions. If you have any questions on the monthly seminars, you want to get more ideas on how it goes, or you want to participate in making it work, please ask our questions.
Okay, hello, Precious. Can you hear me? Please don't stop.
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay, please, I want to know if the monthly seminar is it physical or online, and I want to know the nature of the seminars, maybe the area of concentration on the seminars, and to know the participants what they are to expect from the monthly seminars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The monthly seminars that we do hold is not physical, but we do hold it on Google Meet. Most of the time we do hold the seminars on Google Meet. And then the nature of the seminar, like it's not the topic that is treated this month that is treated next month. We have
Oh,
like diversifying topics for each month. But the main purpose of these seminars is to equip the participants like with the latest industry learning and the leadership insights, facilitate the skills development and all that.
okay.
Hope your question is answered.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So the seminar topics are taken from our team for the year. Our team for the year is resilience.
Okay.
And so all the topics are connected to teaching resilience.
Okay.
And that is the point. By the end of the year, we would have had a full conversation on resilience.
Okay, sir.
That's how it works. And it's
But please, I
usually
want
online.
one more question. Okay, yes, she made mention of the volunteers not showing up. So with my understanding, the seminar is not just for only the volunteer, but maybe we ourselves, for instance, if I just want to, like just the way I want to be part of this program, I can equally invite others to participate in the monthly seminars, right?
The monthly seminar is for everybody, both the volunteers and others that you will invite also.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
So you are supposed to invite people to the monthly seminars.
Okay.
Everybody that you know, invite them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so what happens is that many of the people that are in this call now don't show up. If only people on the volunteers page show up in the monthly seminars, we are going to have 16 people there at least. But many times the speakers' friends come in and there are very few, like 3 or 4 PFF members on the call. And these topics are really important topics. If the topics don't resonate with you enough to make you join in for that conversation, maybe we need to change them. But we think that it should, right? The reason for those topics are to teach you resilience. You need to know how to be resilient. And by the end of the year, you've had a full course on resilience. Next year, we are going to go into another team, and that is where our topics are going to come from. And our people that talk on these topics, they are not featherweight people. They are really important people in what they do. They've had experience. They come to do it for free, basically. They do it because they want to. And they want to speak to this cohort of people that they think are ready to listen to them, right? And it's really good for us to show up. It's really, really important for us to show up for our monthly seminars. That is one PFF thing you can do, and always invite somebody. Yeah. Do you have any other question for Isom? So when next you start your presentation, just explain what that presentation is all about, and then it helps people that are just coming in to know where to follow you on. So I want to talk to Bisola about strategize. Ursula, could you tell us about what you did with re-strategize?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Um, should I just talk or you prefer I share my slides?
Because you have 3 minutes only. If you share a slide, it will be too much. Just talk.
All right. Okay. Good evening again. Strategize is a project that was bettered out of my experience at the practice class I held at OE Primary School in Ile-Ife here. So the practice class is compulsory as a TAL trainer to be able to be a certified trainer. So when I went to the school to do my practice class, I saw some concerns that made me want to organize to do a project in the school, talking to the children about leadership and how to envision their life going forward, and talk to them about extracurriculum, how it improved their learning, and also speaking with the teachers about their role in the psychological development of the children. So, OAU Primary School is inside campus, Obafemi Awolowo University campus. So the strategized project, the purpose of the strategized project is to enhance educational experience for students and teachers. And the focus area was on leadership, career exploration, extracurricular interest, agriculture precisely, and psychological development. So the reason for the agriculture being the extracurricular interest was because I discovered that in the school, the children, there's a full-blown agricultural project going on in the school. They have a school farm, they have a school poultry, but they still don't resonate with what the school is doing. And the school ends up like commercializing it in a way, and the children missing out. They kind of run away from it. They don't really know why they are doing the extracurricular. So the attendees were the students, the teachers, the speakers, and the volunteers. Chinenye was there, Anthony was there, Charles was there. So the date was Friday, 26th January. That was when we held the session with the teachers, when we spoke to them about their role in the psychological development of the children. Then on Monday, 5th of February, was when we held the session for the learners. So the project topics, the project had sessions, interactive session, extracurricular activity, and we had 10 children awarded scholarships, and we gave gifts to the best children in the TAR classes. The TAR classes the TAR means teaching at the right level. So this teaching at the right level is what we use to teach learners in primary 4, 5, 6 how to read. Basically, if you're in primary 4 to 6, you're expected to be reading and doing basic arithmetic in that class. But to find out that a larger percentage of children in that class are not able to do so based on some factors like absenteeism, lack of interest, parental issues, trauma at home, and economic pressures. So the speakers we had for the event was Mr. Femi Eteke. He's a med lab scientist. He came to teach them on leadership roles, how they can be leaders even as young children. Then Dr. Stephen Abuchi, a medical doctor, came to teach them about how to make career choices. Then a student-preneur, a student agriculturist, Thomas Elani Michael,
I guess our network isn't helping us here. Bisola, if you can hear me, I don't think she can hear us. But I think the important thing to note is that strategize happened because she was doing a practice class for teaching at the right level, which is a method of teaching children how to read and do simple arithmetic. And this brings something to my mind. Chine, I would like to call you and Tony and Tomiwa after this conversation. So just call me after if I forget. But teaching at the right level is the method that PFF adopts when teaching children how to read and do simple arithmetic. So she was practicing with that school. But she now realized that that school needed help with helping the students know that they have more to offer to life than just reading and writing. It's a small primary school in Ife, and she had to get a doctor, a, a farmer, and some people to come and speak and ignite leadership on those children. That's what that project is about. Now, we'll not take questions because she's not available and her network is bad. So I'll move to Francis. Francis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us about the bootcamp?
Okay. So the International Leadership Bootcamp is an annual event organized by Precious Fountain Foundation. The essence is to bring in young people across the world, especially from developing countries like Africa, where we still have the challenge of quality leaders in various communities. So this year, the theme for the bootcamp was building resilient capacity as a 21st century leader. The theme was picked to align with the general theme of PFF, which is building resilient capacity. And for the leadership bootcamp, the essence was to empower participants with intensive leadership training to offer them insight into the peculiar challenges that they are going to face in the 21st century, as leaders, and to also provide with them skill set and guidance on how to overcome some of these challenges as emerging leaders. And essentially, we also aim to award notable participants with the impact fund of $100 to ensure that they carry out projects in their various communities. So the bootcamp held between 28th of May to 1st of June 2024. And we had 5 facilitators across different countries. Professor Chaya Bhardwaj from India, Mr. Chris Wilson from Canada, Afua, who is a volunteer as well from the UK. We also had Jeff Levy and Emmanuel Abalumauli. For attendance, we had around 30 to 50 participants. For some days, we had a low turnout, but the minimum number of persons that we had on the call at every time was 30 and above. And for the impact fund, we received proposals at the end of the training, and 3 persons were selected after a rigorous assessment, because it was very difficult to select them based on the scores that the facilitators provided. But we had 3 winners, which were Danite Tariku from Ethiopia, and Abi Yoheme Desmond from Nigeria, and Chidera Sandra James Ede from Nigeria as well. For the things that I would say they went well for the bootcamp, the first is that we expanded in terms of the days. In 2023, we used only 4 days, but for this year, we used 5 days. So that was an improvement in terms of the coverage and the topics that were covered. Also, the presentation and delivery from the facilitators was very wonderful, and it was an improvement from the previous editions, and it was very interactive. So I would say that participants were very engaged, and the sessions were not just dormant. They were very interactive. Another thing that went well was in terms of proposals. We received more proposals this year. There were more than 10. and they were very competitive, very wonderful, and it was very difficult to select the winner. So I would say that there was a commitment and a show of zeal to go out and apply the knowledge that was impacted during the training. So despite some of the successes, we also encountered some challenges. So some of the things that went wrong, first was publicity. In 2023, we had a massive publicity where most of the volunteers were involved and we posted frequently. But this year, the publicity was not at the best, and it was evident in terms of the registrations. Why we had an over 400 registrations in 2023, we had just about 200 registrations for this year. And that was as a result of the low publicity, which we also started lately. But I will not blame some volunteers for not being involved because we also started lately. A major challenge was because of the fact that we were trying to finalize an arrangement with the facilitators, and getting all of them on call to discuss was not easy. And we achieved that lately. And even after that, it was still sad that Dr. Kimani later had to pull out because he could not be available on the day that he was supposed to present. And then Uncle Sop had to look for another person, and we were able to get Mr. Mauli, who came on board to fill in that gap. In terms of attendance, well, some PFF members were not present. I think we just had few persons that attended. Maybe it was based on the fact that it was an almost an exam period in Ife, and since we have most of our volunteers from OAU, so some of them could not attend. Another issue which I would say that did not go well is concerning our YouTube, whereby we normally post the recorded versions of the trainings, but sadly, I do go on YouTube sometimes to look at them, but you see that the views are not encouraging. So I think it's something that we can work on, maybe probably to publicize from our end to ensure that people are able to watch those videos, especially those that were not able to attend. And finally, the biggest challenge which I'm facing this year, unlike the previous year, is execution of the project by the winners of the impact fund. Unlike last year, whereby most of them they went overboard and they did and things that were more than what we gave them. I'm actually facing difficulty with the winners of this year. Since July, they were paid the fund, but none of them have been able to finish their project. They keep giving excuses. Some of them that the students were not in session, so they had to postpone to this time. I'm still on their neck, but it's not really been that easy because I can't force them. I can't go and hold them. But I've been trying my best to ensure that they're able to carry out the project. So going forward, one of the recommendations that I want to offer is that for next year, before people are going to be awarded the impact fund, we may need to conduct an interview and speak with them. In that way, we'll be able to identify those that are serious and then those that are going to be able to deliver within the time that we want. Because anybody can just write beautifully and then give good ideas and they may get selected. So for next year, I think we may have to include an interview to form part of the selection process for those that are going to be awarded the impact fund to avoid the challenge that I'm facing now with them. For publicity, the solution is simply to start early. I would say that has always been part of our planning, but the issue was because of not being able to bring all the facilitators on board at the same time. So for next year, we are going to start earlier, and we ensure that and we get them on board early so that we can start the publicity to avoid any challenge. And I think we may also need to get more persons involved in the planning process. Maybe getting other volunteers involved in the planning process may give them a sense of commitment and ownership of the project, instead of just thinking that, well, this is not my project, so maybe I may just attend and just be passive. So I think we may get more people involved in the planning process as well. And some participants also raised some comments during the training about recognizing those that were active and they were persistent and consistent. So I think next year we may give some recommendations like some special certificate to active participants, maybe those that will be able to attend all sessions and be active in terms of answering questions and communicating, responding. In that way, it's going to encourage other members to know that in anything they are involved, it's good to be committed, no matter how small that thing is, and is showing that when you are committed, you are going to gain something at the end of the day. So I think we may look into incorporating that for next year. So that is it for the International Leadership Bootcamp. Because of time, I couldn't go into some other details about what was discussed for every day. So I'll be looking forward to take questions.
That is very wonderful. So we are having a unique challenge this year with people refusing to do their projects. I hope say they never shopitalize our money and refuse to do what they said they would do. This is a very new one for us. We've never had this situation before. People are usually eager to put on the project that they said they would do. But I don't want to be the person asking you questions only. I will have to ask my friends. Anybody who has a question for our friend, please go ahead and ask him questions. If you are part of the bootcamp, we have today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, concerning that aspect of people refusing to do project, or not really refusing, let's say prolonging the days, like taking time to submit their report. So I think before the money is being sent to them, they can fill a consent form, whether agreement form, something like that. Like it should just be simple terms, but then everyone should agree that okay, it should be sent to their mails, and then they print and sign and send back. Some organizations do it so that you be held to your words. Should in case there like a scenario comes up that somebody did not now carry out at all, it's a different thing. The person carried out the project, but it was on a later date than expected, and maybe there might be a time that someone will not even do at all. So I think that we also hold them to ransom or something. Like signing a consent form, that's just the conclusion.
That is very good. I've avoided having to do that with people. That is forcing people to actually sign documents saying they will do things because of. We don't want to we don't want to more like have to sue people, you know. But as we are getting more serious, we may need to include that in our documents, that if you refuse to do your project, we may need to proceed against you legally. What do you think, Francis? And you're a lawyer, Francis. You should have advised us on this. Why are you letting Chine, who is an engineer, tell us about
Well,
this?
even at the moment, and I would say that, and certainly we do have that, because in the form it was stated clear that the project that you are applying for, you must conclude it within a particular time. So the date was there. So it was for them that to know that if they're going to apply for any project, then it must be completed within that same time. So even if you want to have any issue against them, we can do so. But having a consent form, maybe it will bring the issue on to become more pronounced, and they'll know that okay, we are more serious about it, and instead of just having it or including it like in the application form or the proposal form like that. But well, this is the first time we're experiencing this, because we didn't expect that. And as Uncle Sob normally said, we want to trust people, so you don't want to be like you're already feeling and suspicious that they're not going to do. Last year, and Chinenye, yourself, and then people like Joy, they actually went overboard to do projects, and they also got and monies from other sources to do something bigger than what we even gave them. So this is the first time of doing it, but I believe next year we may have to include that consent form so that they know that we are not joking, and if you can't deliver within that time, then there is nothing for you.
Because we've given a lot of, this is our third year doing this. All the people we gave funds last year, the year before, we didn't have any problem with anybody. Even the Women Leadership Forum, everybody did their project, sent us updates, even went overboard, as you mentioned. I am surprised at this cohort, and I was really, really like, I believed in them so much because their proposals were so quality. It was absolutely wonderful, especially our first winner. It was highly creative and all that. I can't believe they didn't do it. They wouldn't do their project, or they'll be delaying to this point. I can't believe that, because we made sure to pay them almost 2 weeks after. You know, I don't know, man. This is the first time we are seeing this, and we will find a way to resolve it. We'll have to incorporate interviews. We have to incorporate more legal documentation to make that happen. And yeah, thank you so much, Francis. I don't know if anybody else has a question for him. Yeah, but Samuel, go for it.
Sorry, good evening. I don't know. I want to ask is as Francis reach out to them and ask them what's the main thing holding them down from doing the project. Maybe it could be some challenges. I don't know if he has reached out to them in person. And maybe next time, if the sort kind of it, if they can, the project, as you said, as highlighted before, that the interview should be conducted before listening upon, and then if the project can be done in group, in a team, if the person can find somebody like-minded to join he or she do the project, carry out the project. In the case whereby maybe it's unavailable, the other partner can carry on the project. Something like that can be conducted.
Okay, Samuel, thank you. Yeah, I have been following them, and we have been talking as well. And as usual, they have complaints, they have issues, but those complaints to me, they are not sufficient, because I understand human beings. Had it been they were serious, they would have done their project. I remember one of them was even disturbing me after the announcement that our project was to start the next week. So it was like we were the ones that were delaying. So I was shocked that, and when the money was paid and later on she started giving excuses. Of course, I understand that things may not go on sometimes as planned. And I've been flexible with them as well. Some of them, they'll say that, okay, we don't have students in session now. And last year too, we had a similar issue with Joy, that students were not in session and she had to postpone. But these ones, the attitude they are giving is not really not that really good, although they may end up doing, but it's not really interesting at all. Because I understand when people are passionate or they want to do something, or they are straightforward. But I believe that they're going to do, because I'll still be on their neck.
sorry. Thank you so much for that. Wonderful. So, any other question for him?
Okay. Sorry, one more suggestion concerning the publicity. I've heard because I wanted to ask that, Shabet. I've heard the reason the publicity was done so late, because I know that, like, when I saw it, I was like, I didn't even know there is still IFB this year. That was even my comment. But then I think we can also employ other methods, other channels of publicity in this scenario, because we are looking at, it's no more African boot camp, it's now international leadership. So which means it's beyond Africa. So if we really want to get beyond the shores of Africa and get participants, like serious candidates, so that really want to learn, I think we should start using Facebook and paid adverts. That's just a suggestion though. Can start using Facebook paid adverts or other means of advertisement that we can pay some amount of money, maybe for 3 days ad or 4 days ad, to reach across the world. Since it's free, since it's not paid for, like is a free training, so definitely people will want to register.
What do you think, Francis?
Well, that is going to be dependent on our plans. I remember in 2023 we planned to do advert to even get some influencers to help us, but we discovered that on our own we're able to generate or get up to 400 registration, and there was no need to pay people money, because most of us, we have contact across different countries, and if we really want to do the publicity like the way we did in 2023, we're able to reach out to a wider distant audience. But if in the course of the planning it is not possible for us to reach out to a wider audience on our own, then we can and employ and such means. But if we can, then there is no need of saying we need to pay and Facebook advert, because we normally get enough registrations.
Okay, that is also true. We usually get a lot of registration. That's why we don't really carry on. In fact, for the Women Leadership Forum, we wanted to do Facebook advert, but in less than 1 day, we had over 700 registrations, and then we said there was no need because we clearly had way more people than we wanted, and we had to waitlist people because we had too many people. So our channels of meeting people one-on-one on their WhatsApp DMs work, but it's not worked very well so far in getting people to donate to our cause. We get registrations, we get people to show up for our programs, but we don't get donations through that means, and that is something we need to work on. But again, thank you so much. I want to move along from Francis. Francis, please ensure that these people do our project or they return our money. And if we give them from now till the end of October and they don't deliver, we will have to find other ways to proceed against them. Jason Bomb or Motun, any of you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Right. Do you want to talk to us about See Your Future from now?
Yes. So good evening, everyone. Myself and Mutunrayo we have been in charge of the See Your Future from Now project. The first time we had the event was in 2022. Yeah, where we had the maiden edition. And okay, let me just talk about the project generally. So the idea of See Your Future from Now is PFF's attempt at addressing challenges around education in the Nigerian secondary school space. We're trying to create an enabling environment, especially for students in underprivileged communities. So like the name of the project implies, see your future from now. The goal is to help the students see how their current decision impact on their future goals and aspiration. So many of them, we're young too, so we once dreamed dreams. Everybody wants to be a lawyer, a doctor, and all of that stuff. Some of them don't even have dreams. But those that even do, they don't know how to get there. They don't know the connecting points between where they are now and, the situation around them that has made it seem impossible and their future goal. So PFF seeks to bring a consciousness, a reminder, and also provide an enabling environment through mentorship. And we have mentorship sessions, and we have people talk to them. Right. So like a kind of leadership training too for them, so that they see how they need to start preparing for their future from now and how to connect their everyday decision, going to school, reading for exams and, wanting to do their best, seeing how that would eventually lead up to the future that they desire. Yes. So like I said, the first edition was in 2022. We visited 2 schools, a private school and a public school in Ile-Ife. So for now, See Your Future From Now project has been going on in Ife because most of the volunteers are there. And then we have schools, or we have areas in Ife where, we have this set of people that we said are our focus. Students in underprivileged communities where, they're just going to school. They don't really know why, or they don't know why it's important and why they should do well. So yes, we've done the event twice in Ife. The first time in 2020, we went to a private school, OAUIS, and then we went to Morimi High School too. We're able to speak with over 200 students. We had leaders come talk to them on how to see their future from now, obviously. And then we also had an interactive session where students were able to ask questions. So many of them want to be this and that. They would ask questions like what courses they have to take seriously. Those of them that had issues with parents at home wanting them to study this, but this is what they want to study and things like that. So it was, the first year was it provided the needed push for us to do it again. And so this year, okay, sorry, it was 2023, that was last year, and then this year, 2024. This time around, instead of visiting schools, we brought them together in a space. So we hosted them on OAU campus. We had 6 schools in attendance: St. Stephen's, Ife City, Obande, Christway High School, Our Ladies Girl High School, and Excel Standard College. So in total, we had about 70 secondary school students this time around. Instead of bringing the whole class, we asked each school to come with representatives because we wanted to be able to control the crowd too and to ensure that it's highly impactful. So we had students come around, and this year we added a new flair to it where an essay competition was included. So instead of just coming around and having the mentorship session and the interactive session, we prepared their minds ahead. So when we were sending letters to the school, we informed them that there will be an essay competition. So the first part, they had to write an essay. They submitted it before the main day. It was marked. And then on the main day, they had to present orally what they had written down. So that was the new flair that was added. And it proved to be a very good innovation or addition to the whole thing, because we're not only coming to talk to them on how to connect the now with the future, we're also making them speak it. They are sharing their dreams with us. So the topic, what they wrote about was, can I remember what they wrote about now? It was around seeing their future from now and what they wanted to become. To share the intention was, or the goal was, that they share their dreams with us. Before we come to speak to them, what do you already think of the future? What do you want to become, and how do you see yourself becoming that? So that was the new flair. And yes, we invited private schools and public schools for the event. So going quickly into the questions, what did we do right? So the goal of the project was achieved, which is that I wanted to bring the reality of the future to the consciousness of the students. And we're able to answer questions on why they need to see their future from now and how to prepare for that future. And then another thing that we got right was, of course, like I mentioned, the essay competition. It provided the students with an opportunity to express their dreams, and just the feeling of knowing that there's somebody that is really interested in what I want to make out of my life. It's a different if you just say, oh, I want to be this, but having someone listen to you and kind of sharing your dreams and buy into what you're telling them, it was a major win for the See Your Future From Now project this year. And the feedbacks too were great. I said that the first event last year showed us why we needed to do it, but this year even gave us even more energy, more inspiration, or the needed drive to continue doing it. So the feedbacks were great. The teachers were happy. The students were excited. I think the highlight for most of us was the fact that the person that actually won the competition was from a public school. I remember that while we're debating in-house, we're talking about how it might, there might be some imbalance when you bring a private school student and a public school student and make them speak on the same stage. There's already some sort of imbalance. It's looking like it's tilting more towards somebody that probably has more access to better education or better speaking ability and things like that private schools help students. Many of them have debate clubs and all that. And to the surprise of everybody, it was just a public school student that won, not necessarily because English was the best or anything like that. It was because she was able to communicate her dreams very clearly. And that really highlighted to us the fact that, anybody can be in an obscure place, but they know exactly what they want to do. Just a push, just a drive. I remember that parents called us and they were so excited. They were like, is this really happening in Nigeria and things like that? So yes, that was something good that came out of it. It was not just the schools that came around were excited to. The teachers want us to bring in more schools even next year. So yes, I think that's about that for what we did right. The goal was achieved, the feedbacks were great, and the students were really impacted. So what went wrong? Generally speaking, not much. For an event that is physical like that, what we would say went wrong would be maybe something around logistics. So for example, we started late because there were logistics issues. And I think the main thing would be the fact that some of the students were not very well prepared for the oral presentation. So you had some people that came and they crammed what their teachers told them to say, and they didn't really understand the question. And there were some that did, but maybe they didn't really think we're going to award them a prize or something. So that was one thing that we could say that went wrong, that is not related to maybe the physical venue or logistics around the events. So I think why that was the case was because for most of the schools, we're just able to drop off the letter. We were not the ones that communicated the idea of the events. What we intended to achieve with the essay with the students, it was probably the teachers that did it, and maybe there was some sort of confusion somewhere because some of them were not even really hitting the nail on the head. They were just dancing around the topic. They didn't really get what we really wanted them to present. So I think that was one thing that we could say. Other things were logistics issues. The venue, we started late, we had restroom issues, all that stuff. So it was just logistics. What do we need to improve on? Well, there's always room for improvement for every event. No matter how good it turned out to be, there's always stuff that can be done better. So for one, we would have to involve more schools. Oh, okay. So one of the things that can actually say went wrong too, some of the schools that we invited suddenly did not show up on that day. Like we just didn't see them. and they had promised they will come, but they didn't come. So one of the improvements would be maybe inviting more schools so that even if some of them pull out, we still have the number that we want to have. And also the issue with the communication of the idea of the essay. So maybe an improvement would be that we are able to communicate to the students by ourselves. If there is something we can work around, talk to their teacher and ask if we can address the students, so that if something like an essay competition is coming up, or even if there's no essay, their mind is prepared for what is to come. They know exactly what they're coming for. So that's probably something else. And yes, if we're able to do that, the students will be able to bring their A game. They know what they're coming for. The idea is clear. And then I think another thing that we had issues with was fundraising. So we submitted a number of proposals to different companies. We went to Coca-Cola, visited Indomie, Peak Milk, and all that to submit our proposals, but we didn't hear back from them. So I think that even not just the See a Future from Now program, I think most of our funding comes from crowdfunding, telling people about an event and, asking for donations. So I think it's something that would have to do on a larger scale for the next See a Future from Now, not just depend on submitting proposals. And I think something else, since we want to go big next time, would be applying for grants specifically for See Your Future from Now project, so that we know that this money that is coming in is for this project specifically. The thing with donation is that it can go this way, it can go that way. So people would donate, but you may not get as much as you would want and things like that. So we might have to look into getting a grant specifically for See Your Future from Now. What are our future plans for the event? So of course, we want to make it something that is a yearly event. So we'll be having it again next year, and we're looking into spreading it across Nigeria. So it's not just something that is fixed for Ife. I've done it twice in Ife. We can still do it again, but looking into other universities too, not universities, other rural communities outside of Ife, where the students also need to be brought, the consciousness needs to be brought to students, how they can connect their now and the future. So future plans would also be seeking grants for the event. We'd have to look into that. Yeah, so I think that's everything for See a Future from Now. Yes. Thank you.
That was quite a detailed explanation. I don't know if you have any questions for her. You can go for it. What I will ask you, Jesumbomi, is what are the chances to scale? What are the ideas to scale?
What are the chances?
Or rather, what are your plans of scaling?
Oh, okay.
And
When you say scaling, like spreading outside of Ife?
yes, and also including
Okay.
both schools, because even in Ife, I'm not sure as many schools know what we're doing that much. So take,
Okay.
for example, what you've done so far, you've created legitimacy in those schools, at least the schools that took your letters. When you go next year, they already know that you came last year. So it's something to build on.
Yes.
But you can also think of doing more.
I mean, yes, one of the things that the teachers mentioned to us was something on publicity, that maybe we could reach out, reach a larger audience with it. But I believe, like you said, some schools have already come, so most of our possibilities most of our publicity going forward will be somebody telling the good news, basically. So I attended this event last year. It was good, this happened and that happened and all that. So when we're going back to the schools, we could also ask that the spread the news. Give us schools where we could also go to invite them. I think we did good on publicity for this year. the WhatsApp things and all. I think that going forward, publicity will be more, but I think that we already have good stuff as foundation. So it won't be that we're struggling to let people know what your see your future from now is. I think a lot of people already know that. We'll just build on what we already have and scale it. So more publicity, the schools that we have gone to, even the ones that could not come, they already know us. Some of them could not come for valid reasons. I think exam, there was one that wanted to do really sport something, I can't remember. So some of them had like good reasons to not come. But next year, we've come before they know us, like you said. And it's just easier to convince other schools now that we have more evidence. The first time it was just 2 schools. Now we have 7 schools, we have proof, we have good stuff going on. And then scaling across outside of Ife, I believe that PFF is also expanding, right? So would have more volunteers from more places who would join us in the effort. So it's not just a thing that is just Mutun that would do. So if somebody is in a state and they think there's a community there are schools there that we can reach, I mean, it's a partnership, right? So volunteers can also come forward with stuff like that. Basically, we're saying we're open to collaborations outside of Ife. Yes. Thank you.
That's very good point to note. One thing I'm going to task everyone is to develop documents like that, so that even if you're not around, somebody else can use what you have done and run with it. We have volunteers from Imo State now. We can do the same thing. We have people from Ibadan. We can do the same thing using the University of Ibadan as a focal point. And that's a way to reproduce the same thing. And we can start looking for talk shows that talk about educational projects or people that are conscious and scale from there. We are at 9 o'clock and we still have a lot of projects to run through. So we are going to make sure, if you give us 30 more minutes, we'll make sure we finish, because these other projects are important to learn from as well. Before the project, Chisom and Tony, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
So just,
Good day, everybody.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Good day, everybody. My name is Carlo Antonio Kuro. So I and Chisom were the ones that headed the Ufodo project in Enugu State. So what went well? The things that went well basically was that for me the volunteers we are passionate and they connected well with the children from what I can see in the classes and in the activities. And the whole TAO methodology too was exciting for the children, especially the jumping, the gymnasium, and yeah, basically the TAO program was exciting for the children as well, and it was fun. It was fun, and also the clapping and all of that. And there were also senior students that came people in senior secondary schools, and yeah, senior secondary schools, basically SS1, SS2 mostly. And because they are not really part of the whole TAB method, it's not really for them. So we did a different class for them. That too also went well, where I taught them mathematics, and they were also very happy as well. So yeah, these are the things that went well. And things that went somehow, yeah, some of the things that went somehow was I think the rain, yeah, the rain really affected the attendance, because for the first week, for each day, for every day, the attendance was just increasing. Will I say linearly or exponentially? It was just increasing. So I was thinking by maybe the second week we'll be having like maybe up to 600 people. So yeah, so just increasing like that. So on Friday of the first week, they reduced. So I was thinking, okay, they had something they were doing maybe an activity in the village and all of that. So the next week too, they reduced, and I wanted to know why. I think I asked around. Then for the third week, there was a very heavy downpour, and of course, it really affected the attendance. So for me, this are major things that went somehow. And again, the classes too, because of the way we are using the classes too was noisy a bit. It was noisy, and of course, I forgot to mention for the first week too that they were overcrowded, and the teachers were not enough. Of course, we have two teachers per levels. We are using levels now, the third level, two teachers per level. So I had to divide the classes and say, okay, one of these we go out, we go to another place, and one of the teachers we take them, and one teacher will stay with the others. So the classes was kind of about too much. They were too much for the teachers. The numbers were too much for the teachers. Like I said, I had to divide them. And again, too, and we didn't have any kind of somebody, okay, like remaining. Everybody was very busy, including myself. So, and that was one of the things that went somehow. That is, we need more, key teachers and people, more volunteers. Maybe two extra would do, so that we, because there are a lot of things we forgot to do and all of that, and because of the whole, we were so much occupied. We were so much occupied. So yeah, then also, yeah, these are the things that one of the things that went somehow. Then also the classes too, some of them was close, not really, we are okay. The toddlers and the beginners were in one hall, that is the church hall, and of course it was kind of interfering. There was some interference, and there was some interference. So these are, yeah, some things that went somehow, and yeah, that's all. Then what can we do better for the interference? Like I mentioned earlier, I was suggesting of, if we will still use the venue, we should kind of use these moving boards. I think I see them in church. They use moving boards for these children classes to demarcate the classes, and of course, obviously, more hands. I think that one is very important. More hands, and again, we should start preparation way earlier. I think for this year we started late. Yeah, start preparation way early, and of course the donations too. Like Uncle Sob mentioned, we should start preparing a year before the program. I think that one too is very important, so that will be more organized and more settled. So for the donations, of course, the crowdfundings and all of that, yeah, and more teachers, like I mentioned earlier, and of course, we should also what went better. That is the passion, like I saw with the corpers, the volunteers. I really love that. I think that should also continue. That should continue. I think it was because of the communication aspect. We communicated well to them and told them the essence of what we are doing. I think that's what built the passion, and that should continue. So yeah, and in the end of the program, that is 30th of August, for me was emotion, and it's one of the things for me that went most well. The children were also very happy, and yeah, that is all. And I also want to use the opportunity to thank Uncle Levi for hosting us. That one also too went very well. They hosted us very well. So that's it. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I like how you pointed out very important things that will go on. So I want to ask you, Tony, can we do this UFODO project in other villages?
Yes. I don't know how more I can say yes. Like a very big yes. I think we should do it in other places, because I took the senior students in mathematics, and what I saw, I was very happy. Like it was as though we are making them to see something that if we didn't come, of course, and if somebody else did not come, they won't see it. Like it's it was something similar to this See Your Future from Now, because I attended one of those See Your Future from Now, and it was something similar to that. They had to see their future from now. I think we did one of the activity where we asked them to, okay, where do you think you'll be in the next 5 years? And they had to think. I don't think they've ever thought of that before. And of course, they thought of something, and we talk of how you can get there, and it all starts with being serious with your life, studying hard. So yes, I think it's good, because what we achieved in Ufodo for me was very huge. I think we should do it in other places, especially in my village. So yeah.
Okay. Especially your village. All right, all right, all right. You see that? You see what you're trying to do there. But we'll think of doing it in your village, but not immediately. Do we have questions for Tony? Please ask him. Please feel free. Ask him questions. Also, if you want to do the program in your village, you can ask him how. The idea is that everywhere there's a rural area and it's safe, we can come there and do this project. I don't care where that is. Whether it's in whatever it is, we'll come there. If it's safe, they will not kidnap us or fight us or anything. We can plan something. We want to run this project. We even want to train a lot of teachers in local areas and let them just go all in. So, very wonderful presentation. Please ask him questions. Let me know if anybody has any question. Otherwise, we'll listen to Chine and Olamide.
All right. I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
For the teachers, I believe they have to undergo a training, right? How long does it take to train anyone that wants to volunteer as a teacher?
Bisola, can you answer that question? Because it's Bisola that handles the training with Gideon. Or Tony, you can answer it too because you are there. So.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the training, we use teaching at the right level methodology to teach the children. So we train the teachers on how to use the methodology, because it uses a lot of play method, learning aids, and some fun activities. So we train them for 10 days. Yeah, we trained them. We did 5 hours a day. We started, was it 11 to 2, right? Yes. I think 10 to 2 every day. We had some little breaks in between, like 30 minutes break in between. Then we did a 10 days training, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. Okay. We did 5 days with them. Ideally, we usually do 10 days, but we did 5 days with the photo people.
So the training for these people, including the 5 days, we had Ellen. Ellen is a Canadian certified teacher for students with dyslexia and people who don't know how to read and all that. So we started their training 2 days before. So it was an intensive, almost 1 week of training. But with what you're listening here, Bisola say now, average time is 10 to 7 days. So, Orlando, do you want us to come to your village too? If you will make it safe for us, we'll come. Where are you from again? We'll come.
Oh, well, I've never been to my village before.
Hello? Hello?
Wow. Like wow.
I don't understand. You've never been to your, what? I don't get it. How can you be this big and never been to your village? Joseph, Blessing, do you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. When he was explaining about this Ufodu project, I didn't really get the clarity, like what the vision of this particular project is all about. He didn't actually break it down, and I want to understand it perfectly.
Oh, all right, Tony.
Okay. Sorry about that. The photo project is a program we do in Ufodo. Ufodo is a village in Enugu Enugu State. So it's part of the mission, let's say mission wing of PFF. It's majorly educational and also mission. That is, you teach them basic arithmetics and English. That is numeracy and literacy, and also teach them the word of God. That is, you are going to win soul to the kingdom of God, and also to teach them basic things that they should know. So that is what is basically all about.
Okay, okay.
So we stay for 1 month in a village, teaching children how to read, do simple
Okay.
arithmetic, and Bible studies.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, just like the person that reported for See Your Future. This one is a kind of project that has to do with more like educating them. Probably maybe those ones in the rural community might be educated, but they don't really know how to utilize it. But this one has to do with urban areas where maybe probably the children don't have enough, they don't get enough educative opportunity. So if I don't know, if you can collaborate maybe from here in IMSU, we can, like, I would want to be interested in carrying out such project around my society here.
Right. If what you are saying is whether this is rural or urban, then See Your Future from now is urban. That is just like Jesumbom explained, it is for students who are in urban areas. We are teaching them leadership. They don't need to learn how to read. They already know how to read.
Yeah, they already know how to read.
Ufodo
But for this
project
particular
is
one,
also known as Rural Education Project. Is for students who don't know how to read. That's what
okay,
this one is about. Now,
okay.
this is a question and this is important question we need to ask ourselves. Should we extend our mandate to include children in township areas who don't know how to read? I'll leave us to answer that question. You can vote yes in this thing, because me, I usually would go for rural area. But if you want us to do that, and you think that this is what God would like us to do, then type yes in the chat. And I will say something, we are overshooting our time, so don't worry, we'll send you your data back. Everybody that is present here today, you can just ask for your data back. Bisola will help you make that happen. But if you think that this is a project, learning to read is a problem also in urban areas, and PFF should think of that, then type yes in the chat. Let's see. And Bisola already did something in if an urban area. I don't know.
If by infrastructure, it should be urban, but it's still rural. So it's in between the two, semi-urban.
Semi-urban. That one no follow for urban. No. That one is a village urban. So if is not an urban area, then we can say we've done that before. Or if not, then the answer will be no. We have not moved to urban areas. So Joseph, bless you, literally asked the question and you are voting no.
No, I was trying to get a clarity of his presentation, but I don't think, because those in urban area, they have more opportunities compared to those in rural
Okay, that
areas.
is correct. But it doesn't mean we will abandon them. It just means we'll just
Yeah,
expand what
yeah,
we're doing to include them.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm glad that is clear for you. If you want to work with us to make this happen, by all means, reach out to Tony. We can plan more things for next year. We are part of our scale-up plans for this project is that we want to actually build a school. But we don't know where to build a school. We don't know if we should build it in Ufodo. We don't know if we should build it in Olu. We don't know if we should build it in Iresadu or wherever. So Tell us what is your plan. Work with us. Help us make this happen. And God be praised. Any other question for Mr. Tony? If you have questions for Tony, go ahead, or I will move to Olamide and Chineye. Who is speaking? Is it you, Olams, or Chineye?
I'll be speaking. All
Okay, go for it.
right, good evening, everyone. I'll be talking about the African Women Leadership Forum, AWLF for short. And this project was anchored by or managed by Chineye and I. And AWLF collaborated with like the program Precious Fountain Foundation and Forward UK. And the main purpose of this project is to empower young women from African countries between the age of 18 to 30. The goal is to help them build leadership skills through various training and various projects. And the program ran virtually from April 20th to May 11th. And we had our maiden edition this year, and we've gotten quite a number of feedback, which I'm going to run through in the course of this presentation. And like I mentioned earlier, the main goal is to create a supportive network where African women can develop that capacity, like I said, and also engage in meaningful community projects wherever they are. And we had a total of 9 speakers, and we had 834 applicants for this leadership forum. However, we had to shortlist, and we eventually selected 30 women across Africa. We had entries from Nigeria, we had entries from Tanzania, from Ethiopia, from Zimbabwe, just across Africa. We had about 11 countries represented. So for the 30 participants that were spread across 11 countries, and this program ran for about 4 weeks. And for each of the weeks, we met for a total of 2 hours, and we had panel sessions where our speakers taught us, and we also had breakout sessions. So what were the successes recorded for AWLF 2024? We had diverse participation such that we were able to get the input or insight from various women across Africa. And one of the things that really stood out was our breakout session. So after each training session, we divided participants into breakout rooms where we asked questions, and these breakout sessions were not recorded, which gave women opportunities to express themselves and provide solutions to problems in their community. Also, we had people carry out projects in their communities, and we had, at the beginning, when we last moved forward, the plan was to fund less than 10 projects for AWLF. And however, as we progressed and with the feedback we got from the participants, we eventually had a total of 12 winners. So we had batch A winners and we had batch B winners. So batch A, we had 8 winners, and having received or having seen what the first batch of winners did, Forward was encouraged and they sponsored 4 more winners. Okay, so for challenges we faced, well, we had issues with data. One of the promises we made was that we were going to sort out their data. This is for the participants now. And so we had issues disbursing funds for data for some few selected African countries. We had the issue with transferring the funds for data. We also had issues on we had people that could not attend sessions because of differences in time zone. We also had so for the breakout sessions, we had volunteers that that facilitated breakout sessions, but there were some weeks that we didn't have enough ends as regards facilitators for the breakout sessions. We also had so during the course of the project too, a suggestion was raised as regards a book, AWLF book, where we would have everyone share their story and their journey about on AWLF, and then we publish it. And it was such a beautiful initiative, but we could not carry that out. And so what can we improve on? What can we do better? Like I said, this year was the maiden edition, and another thing. Okay, one area of improvement is for is allocation of funds. So we are looking at ensuring that we do our research more as regards hubs that can help transfer funds across African countries. Also, we are on lookout for more. We had very, very seasoned and experienced speakers this year. However, we can always get better. So we are looking out for more experienced speakers that are more that are experienced in whatever topic we are giving to them. So we are also looking out to issue out certificates of participation. One of the feedback that we got from our participants was they asked if we're going to be giving out certificates, and we had people that actually they did not win the project funding. However, they participated all through. So I feel one of the things that we are trying to work on, or one of the things that we can improve on as an incentive for those that participate all through, is issuing certificates. Okay, so another area of improvement is follow-up of projects. So we managed our project. Our pre-plan phase was very good, and during the project was very good. But after the project, we kind of slacked. We didn't really follow up with project. We didn't follow up as regards the timeline. However, for every participant of AWLF for this year, they were able to carry out their project. So what are our plans for next year? Our plans are, so we are looking at training more. We are looking at training more volunteers to help with the breakout sessions. We are also looking at utilizing past participants of AWLF. So, for example, now we already have a community of women. So we are looking at using this same community of people next year too. So they are also learning and they are volunteering for AWLF. So we are also looking at incorporating video interviews to shortlist our participants. Also, we are looking to execute the AWLF book, the idea that was suggested during the project. Also, we are also looking forward to partnership. So this year it was Forward UK and PFF. However, we are open to collaborations from other organizations too. And for support, we definitely need support as regards volunteers for coordination of breakout sessions. We also, one of the support that we need also is definitely we look forward to funding more as many projects as we can. That's because I already mentioned that. So that will be all from my hand. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That was a very wonderfully done project this year. One of the best we did. Like this year, we had a lot of wins. Starting from the first monthly seminar, it was like this year we came with a bang. So I struggle to find what can improve with the AWLF, but it's good to see that we have innovative leaders and they're already thinking of what they can do better. And yeah, we love that. Do we have any questions for them? All right. If we don't have any questions for them, I would say let's not end this in talking, but let's do. So those things you've mentioned as things that need to be improved, let's do them. If you need to write for partnerships with, say, UN Women or things like that, we need to start writing those mails as soon as possible. And if you are going to do a second iteration next year, let's set it out. And in order not to overshadow the boot camp's time for publicity, let's put 2 months between the leadership forum and the boot camp, ILB, so that we have at least 2 months after the AWLF to publicize the ILB for the year. And so it will look like if we do the AWF in March, we do the ILB in May or June. And yeah, that's my suggestion. I don't know if anybody has any suggestion for them to make it better. All right. So I want to call Deborah to tell us about the essay competition.
All right, good evening, everyone. So I will be talking about PFF's annual essay competition for this year. Okay, the project, it's a essay competition. Basically, what we do in this is we take the topic from the theme of the year, from PFF's team of the year. And this year, the team of the year was resilience. So we picked the topic from that, and the topic was resilience, key to success. So basically, what we do is we put out call for entries, or anybody that is, you feel you're okay, you can write on this topic, put in your submission, and we take from it to shortlist and everything. So this is my first time working on this project, but it's an annual thing. But I came in this year due to some reasons. So for this year, things we changed were that some of the things we changed were, I heard that last year the winner was from J3, and we didn't want a situation like that again. So the first thing we did was we limited the entries to post-secondary schools, like maybe as long as you're out of secondary school, you are free to participate. It's not a Nigeria limited competition. We open it to every part of Africa, regardless of age. I think we also put the age limit this year. I think 35. Yeah, I think we also put the age limit this year. So one of the goals of the essay competition is, number one, to encourage communication across all Africas. Then number two is to hear about our topic for the year, resilience. Like, what do people think of our team of the year? What do they have to say about it? We want to hear people's stories, their mindset about it. So, okay, I was told to answer some of these questions. Okay, so the first question here, I'll answer it last. It's what went well. So the next question I have is what went wrong? To be sincere, I'm not proud of myself. I'm not proud of myself because of this project, because I feel like I did not even do well. We did not reach any of our targets. Looking at it, we didn't reach any of our targets. I felt like I just did it as a prerequisite. A prerequisite for university students is a course that you have to pass so that you can do it. You can do the course that is before it. So I just feel like I did that as a prerequisite so that we can just do this year and do like, yes, we did it this year, and next year we come and do another one again. So a lot of things went wrong were late entries. We gave a timeline that, okay, we planned the project to be for about a month, but due to late entries we're just have to shifting, and we kept shifting the dates. We're like, okay, let's extend it. We'll come again, like, let's extend it. We'll come again, like, let's extend it. So at the end of the day, we had a lot of late entries. We had inconsistencies, yes, from my side and from some team members too. We had issues with judges. Yes, I remember that at a point after we distributed, we had 3 judges on board at first, and they all agreed, and I agreed to send them a specific number of essays, and I gave them a timeline that they should submit the essay back to me so that we can go on to the next stage of the essay. Oh, okay, before I go on, we decided to have the essay in two ways. In two stages actually. Wanted to have you submit your essay we'll grade it. We'll give judges, professional people to grade it for us. We'll grade it. Then we now shortlist the top 10 from there. Then we'll now take them to a online voting stage. Basically, we'll ask them to make a video, maybe a 2-minute video, talking about what they did in their essay relating to the topic, which was resilience. Then we'll post it online. Then we'll have them vote and follow our page. Then at the end of the day, we collate that one too. But we made it clear that the online voting was going to be 10% of the total score. So your essay was 90%. This year I do not really know about the statistics from last year, but this year we had about, when we compiled everything to send for grading, we had about 38 essays. And I would like to blame that due to some reasons, due to inconsistency and very bad publicity. The publicity was not so much, because we're just at that point, we're just trying to rush the project and let's finish within a month or two. We're trying to rush the project. So I would just say publicity was not good, because the goal was to have all across Africa, not just Nigerians alone. And one thing I noticed about it was we had a lot of Nigerians. That's fair. That's actually not bad. But I wish we could have reached out to other countries across the continent. Then so back to my issue with judges. So I sent it to some of the judges, and I had to chase some of them for them to submit back to me. Ma, sir, it's time for you to submit back. And again, I had to extend the deadline for some of them. I think that's a major problem that we faced in this year's competition. It was we're just changing, extending, changing deadlines. We just had to keep shifting, and it made the project way longer. And at the end of the day, we were all losing, passion for it. We were just extending. We'll go silent for some days. We'll come back. So another issue was one of the judges. I gave him 10 essays, and he submitted only 3 back to me. So by the time I reached out to him again, so what about the remaining essays? I did not get any communication from him. I tried reaching out to him on different platforms, but I do not know what happened, and I hope he's fine. I sincerely hope he's fine. So we had to get another judge to remark those essays that I sent to him. So that one took another extra time, and that was another issue. So another issue we faced was bad communication among the team. I had some people join me because I was new to the program. I had some people join me on the team, and there were bad communication in between. Sometimes we would discuss, let's do this, let's do that. But I guess it was not made clear that, you do this, I will do that from my side, from each other's end. And sometimes when you go back to check on it, you'll be like, I've not done it. I thought you said you would do this and everything. I'm not blaming anybody. I mostly take the blame, because another thing was during that period, I was writing exam. So that was another issue for me. That was why I said bad communication. I think on my own side, I didn't really do, yes, I would say documentation too. Yes, I did documentation and communication, because I was not communicating to my team members that I was busy, I'm doing this, you do that. Sometimes I'll just mention, this is what we should do for next week. And I'll be like, okay, but I'll not communicate to them properly that, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do that for me. Then another issue we faced, I'm really sorry that we faced so many issues this year. It's not really a good thing to say. Another issue that was faced was, so we're communicating by essay to the contestants, and I was trying to use PFF's official email. I was avoiding using mine, though in the call for entries, I put my number, my email there. And personally, I think next year, if I'm in charge of this project again, I don't want to put my number there again, just my email, because I was having a whole lot of, there was this specific person that kept sending, I was having messages from people making inquiries and okay, but there was, I think about 2 of them. They just kept, what's the word? They kept, I don't want to use harassing, but they kept bombarding me, even sometimes just call at random hours. The guy was not in Nigeria, so I think that's another reason. But he was always calling at odd times, just bombarding me, and it was not quite, should I say, it was very, very rude in his way of communication to me. So that's one thing I want to change. I think I don't want to put out my personal detail there, my personal detail there on the flyer again next year. I think my email is okay. So back to my issue. I was trying to communicate with PFF's official email I was avoiding using mine, so it will look like it's coming from PFF because it's a PFF project. But we had an issue with that. The person that was heading the social media, at a point she was off, and we could not get in touch, and she couldn't get into the PFS official mail too. So I had to switch to using mine. Yes, I had to switch to using mine. So that was another issue. Then what else? So just come like, let's do this, let's do this. Then at the end of the day, from my own perspective, just be like, let's get this done. But looking back on it, so for some of the things we did, it was very, very rushed. And looking at the participants, I feel like it was not fair on them because the notice was very, very short. Okay, so some of the things that could have been done better. I think number one, better timing. Yeah. I think there was a point that the timing was not so great. The timing we extended, like I said, we kept extending and extending the dates. So at the point, I think we started around July. Was it June? I think June or July. Yeah, we started like June ending. Then we were planning that by July ending, we should have ended. So it will enter into the International Leadership Boot Camp. And when they are announcing the winners, we announce the winners there too. But due to we extending and some of the issues we faced, we were not able to do that. So I think number one, that's another thing we need to work on, better timing and keeping to deadlines. And when we say this is this, regardless of whatever happens, we keep to it. Another thing is publicity. And I'll drag the publicity back into better planning and early planning too. I won't really say the planning was rushed from my side, but I think we just tried to rush the project. So I think next time we should take enough time to plan out how we want this to be, and also documentation, better documentation from my side, because sometimes I'll be like, what's better documentation from my side? Because sometimes I understand we all have different things we're doing, so I think documentation helps. You document and checking in, like Ms. Bisola mentioned in the beginning, that checking in, communication, even though you have not done anything, you will communicate to your team members that this is what I've done, this is what I've not done. So by the time you have to step down a bit, that maybe you have to do step down, you are busy, somebody else can easily take it up. I think that was one of the issues I was facing too in this year's PFF annual essay competition. So better publicity, early planning, and I think we need to be more strategic with how the essay competition should be. Because this year, to be frank, I'm disappointed. But what went well? Well, I think we actually kind of did the essay the way it was meant to be done, but we didn't meet some of our targets. So it actually went well, but we didn't meet some of our targets. It was just like we're just giving them money for just writing an essay. We didn't really reach our targets. So that's another thing I want to change next year. Then next year, I don't want it to be dragged. Like I said, we'll keep to deadlines. We stay on. Once we mention this is what is going to happen. So, okay, what do I need? Better resources. Yes, better resources. Then I think more team members that can help. Another issue we had was with the designer. Yes, I remember our graphics designer. And I'm not blaming him because we also gave him, that's also linked to short notice. We gave him very short notice. We need this design, and we're rushing him sometimes. And at the end of the day, we have to go back and correct again. So that was also another issue. I think this year a more vast team will be better. And not to be greedy or to carry gun, maybe a laptop too. Because and also I think we need to be more very, very specific this year. Because I remember making out guidelines. This is how you submit. This is what I wanted to be submitted. I don't know if it's just a people's thing, but some people did not stick to the guidelines. And that was another issue I had. Compiling the essays together and everything. You'll be like, why did this person do this? Why didn't this person do that? And you have to sit down. Sometimes I had to send message back to them and be like, okay, please redo this. Especially with the videos entry. We asked them to put in a Google link. So we'll download it from our side and post it on our Instagram page and our social media pages. And sometimes some of them will send the link. They will not put access. Sometimes I have to send message back to them and be like, please, can you resend the link and put access for it? Some of them, they they just sent the video and the quality was not so good. Documents too, some of them just send it. I remember that somebody sent his essay to me on WhatsApp. Person just copy and pasted it. After even it was in the entry that okay, you submit in a document into you submit to PFF's email, but still copy and paste. I had to like tell him, yeah, it was also one of the person I had issue with. Again, I really do not want to put my personal information out there. I had to tell him that, oh, please, you have to put it into a document. The person was telling me he doesn't have to put it into a document and everything. And I had to like explain and explain. At the end of the day, he still did not do it. He still did not do that, what I asked him to do. So that's another issue. Be more specific. Sorry, please let me give me a minute to switch on the light. Then, but I think basically that's the overview of the project we did this year. Thank you.
Well, this essay competition has worried me because it's something I named after myself. I say I will give people Soprochit Creative Writing Prize. So last year we got close to 90 submissions, and it was really tough.
Oh, sorry, Uncle Sop, hold on. Sorry, I forgot to mention the prize. The prize was supposed to be $100, yeah, for the winner, for the overall winner after the 2 stages. I forgot to mention that too. Yeah, that was, and I think we talked about having baby consolation prizes too. But the general prize was $100 for the winner. We named it yes, we named it after you. Saporichi, sorry for murdering your name. But we named it after you, yes.
Right. There is no easy way to say this, but the major problem with the essay competition this year was the caliber of the leadership for the essay competition. And so we relied on you a lot, Deborah, because at that time, Bisola was stretched thin. We were beginning a pilot in Iresadu. We were planning a project in Ofodo. I was doing my exams and it required a lot of reading. And so it would have been very, 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 very important for you to, we needed a highly competent hand, basically is what I'm saying. So it required they have the highest levels of competence. And so what would happen was we would go for weeks and not hear any communication. And I will ask Bisola when I get time, say, what is really going on with this? And say, okay, let me check up on the brother, but we wouldn't hear anything. And of course, I know you went on writing exams and all that, which would not be a problem if we knew ahead of time that this is how your schedule would be like. That will help us plan around that. Because the essay competition has still not concluded. And if it's something that is rushed, we've been on it since March, right? And this is October now. And that's how many months now? And so that's a lot of time to properly plan out something. And what I would say is this, we need to have more conversations with you. So be available when we call you. If I call you and you don't pick up, tell me when it's good to call you next time. Bisola will also try her best to get in touch with you, or even Francis. Like, if we actually rely on our project heads, and that means that if we don't want to take decisions or do things, if we say you will take care of something, we don't want to do that thing for you. We want to support you in doing that thing, but we'll not go ahead and do that thing. We'll wait for you. And so there were a lot of support I extended, human resource, like Bisola, Francis, Vivian, say, help her make this thing happen. But that inability to get to you and speak with you really did not help them. to know exactly how to come in or how to help out in this regard. And many of the things you mentioned now, the problem with the judges, we could solve that easily. The problem with communicating with the people, the problem with the designer. The designers already know as part of their job that so many changes will be made, usually 4 or 5 times before they finally have a design that mirrors what the people want. So I think they are fairly used to that. But again, I don't want you to feel very bad. What I want you to do is to learn. Because just as I said, there is no project, there is no position you are given on this earth that is good or bad. Even if they make you president today, it is still not good or bad. And what I mean by that is, it is you, the seriousness you carry into that position that gives that position the clout it has. Nigeria has a president now, the whole country is suffering. He's still a human being. There is another person that will become president and things will change and become better. Nigeria, we used to have a governor in Abia State who would never pay people. The people that are pensioners in Abia State, they were not paid for 3 years. The doctors were not paid for 2 years. There was a governor there. He was a human being, but another person has come and cleared 3 years backlog of pensions that people were owed. Clear 2 years of backlog of salaries that doctors were owed. Is building roads, is changing. He's still a human being. But the problem is not that the position makes you any different. It is the capacity you carry into that position that makes the difference. So I can make you the monitor of a classroom or a particular class rep for a particular course. And that course will be very bad. You won't have any idea. But there was a course rep of my course. I used to teach banking law in Ife. The guy would come say, Uncle Sopo, how do we make this course better for people? I'll give him ideas. He will go, he will write to a manager of Access Bank to come and take us. This was the same person, the same position, but the capacity this boy brought to the position he was given was different than the capacity other people bring. And this is what I'm saying to all of you. When we did our, many of these projects, the See Your Future From Now, the photo project, the leadership forum, the ILB, these are young people like yourself, but they brought a lot of capacity. They brought a lot of ability to get things done. They were creative. They also face serious challenges, but they found ways around it because they really wanted to get it done, especially with the Women Leadership Forum, which we had to send data. You don't understand how difficult that was. I think Olamide was not even hitting. We had to send data money to people in over 10 African countries, and there was literally no way to get to them because somehow Africa is siloed off. Each country does not communicate with the other. We had to get friends, send them money to meet the other friend. Like it was a really tough something to pull off. But we did it. We paid data for all of them. We paid data for over 21 people. We gave 7 people $100 in different countries of the world in Africa. And it happened. Some places as far as Ethiopia, no way to get to those places. I don't even know how our project got there. And what I'm saying is, the capacity you bring is the point. You have to be creative. You have to bring a desire to get things done, and you have to remove the fact that you're a young person. Don't say, I'm too young to do something right. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say, oh, I don't know, somebody needs to hold my hand. No, don't do that. If you have any questions, you need help, ask immediately. Somebody will come and help you. And I'm saying this for next time. And for every other person, because we've had shaky projects. 2 shaky projects we had this year is this one and the IMSU project. You know, the capacity you bring is really important. I want to ask Shalom or Peter to come and speak. I don't know if any of them is around because we are literally 1 hour away, and I want to end this call in 4 minutes. Is Peter or Shalom here? Oh, Peter is here. Peter, do you want to speak?
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Just
All right.
yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to give reports about a project Shalom and I managed. The project is IMSU Leadership Training Project. It's actually a satellite project because it's sort of a way of Uncle Sob giving back to his alma mater. That's the Imo State University. So basically, the project was aimed to empower Imo State University undergraduates to become resilient leaders, actually, because as the anchor word for the year, we're actually building resilience in leaders. So the project actually gave an opportunity to undergraduate students at Imo State University. So we were able to expose them to the dynamics of leadership. So we had a virtual training session where we had 4 days dedicated to training undergraduates who registered for the training. We had facilitators in Imo State University who really helped in implementing and executing the project. We could not have done any well without them, actually. As a what's it called now? As an addendum to the training, we had an essay competition, and the essay competition was actually in honor of Professor B.B. Nwoke, one of the honorable professors in Imo State University, who was retiring as at the time we had the project. So the training was a 4-day training that was hosted on Zoom, and it was a 2-hour session for each day. And I think talking about how we actually had issues, I think I would like to mention that we were not able to fix a steady time or a timeline for the project due to the fact that we already had a proposal for the project. I think we are ahead of the execution period. And the reason why we had some irregularities due to the timing was we had to plan with the audience anyways. And one of the things that we had to put into consideration was the school calendar. So there was no way we are going to get people to the undergraduates on board without actually striking out their availability period. So, and upon that, I think we fumbled a while too with our publicity based on the timeline, because I think it was a period where the core persons in the school we could have communicated with or that we needed for proper publicity and outreach were actually quite busy. So we didn't really have core persons to reach out to muster them for the publicity. So we had to resort to using media influencers in the school, which didn't really work quite well, based on the fact that they didn't have much ramification with the students, or let me say leaders in the school. So, and at the end of the day, Uncle Sop was able to help us with contacts that we were able to reach out to, who helped us with, I think, people who could solidify our publicity. So, but still, our publicity was not enough to power enough participants or candidates to register. I think as at the time we were about to start the training, we had barely 40 participants or candidates who registered for the training. And we actually expected more than that, because down the funnel, we really didn't get enough people to participate actively. So I think that those are the lapses we had. And talking about the good side, the brilliant side of the project, I think we got feedbacks from people who actually participated in training. They gave us their feedback that they were able um, to resolve some issues in their personal leadership abilities and skills. So they were really sensitized and they were able to get some proactive measures to actually reinforce their leadership attitudes and capacities. So really going by the virtue of people that were actively followed us on the training, I think we were able to achieve a success, because the spirit of leadership was ignited and people who already gave up on leadership and like in implementing and manifesting leadership actually ignite they were invoked to get back to on track. So now going to the essay competition. The essay competition was more like a monumental part of the project, where we had to honor Professor B.B. Nwoke, who was one of the facilitators we had in Imo State University. So we had the title for the essay readout almost immediately after the leadership training. And I think we were not so solid on the rules or guidelines for participation in the essay competition, because it was supposed to be exclusive to people who actually attended the essay competition, supposed to be exclusive to people who attended the training. But we discovered that if we kept it at that, we might have had a narrow participation in the essay competition. So we opened it up. So, and we had quite a few submissions for the essay competition, because it was more of a written submission, which was later compensated with a verbal presentation, I think, as at the time of presentation of the awards. So we had 10 outstanding people as well, based on the guideline we had. We had judges who helped with the grading of the written essay, and at a later time in the timeline of it, we had the rewards of I think a cash prize scholarship awarded to the winner. So being a satellite project, we didn't know whether in the future we have to do something like this again. We would still have to use the Imo State University, or would actually expand it. So that's the report about this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think this is a good place for us to pause. And I'm sorry for everyone, but we'll continue this tomorrow. The only thing we need now is Gideon and Bisola's presentation on EVDP and the presentation on projects that didn't happen, the ones that we are thinking of. So we may do one more project before the year runs off. But a project that nearly happened this year is this Beyond Disability Mentorship. That is what we call Mindshift. It's a program for blind people, headed by Gabriel, and he wants to talk about this. And I'm sorry, I told him he would talk about it by 9:30, but again, we talked too long. So we'll talk about it tomorrow, please. Just be able to. I don't want to take two people for too long. It's already 10 p.m. and I want you to sleep and wake up and be here by 7 tomorrow so that we can do this. For people who are students and don't have money that spent their data, or will send you data tonight. But I want to talk about this IMSU project because IMSU students, you guys disappointed me. I really lost hope. I'm like, I told them, guys, let's scrap this thing. It's the truth. Many of them said, no, we've already gone too far. Let's continue. I'm like, these students don't like what we want to do for them. We wanted to, the amount of publicity we put on in IMSU, even though it was not very widespread, but we tried our best. But if you have done it in a school like OAU, many of them would have joined in. But you guys, I didn't know what happened. And we wanted to use your alma mater, people who finished from IMSU, to give back to you guys and your professors. But you guys didn't want. We tried to move through the JCCF. It didn't work. I even tried to get people from SUCF. It just didn't work. I'm like, what is wrong with these IMSU students? Are you guys that against learning? You hate to learn or what? And thank God that Shalom especially and Peter, they just decided to soldier on. And Bisola had to go all the way to IMSU to give you guys a prize. But personally, I was really disappointed at the kind of outcome we got. Because we did everything we could do very well, which is move with partnership, get people to share the flyer. We had a number of people that registered and joined the WhatsApp group. But then to now come for the training was really difficult for them. And again, the quality of the essays we got was so watery, it nearly annoyed me. We had like 4 or 5 good essays, right? And it doesn't speak well for the school. I don't know what you guys are doing there, whether you guys are now partying in or visiting each other in Love Garden. I'm saying this because I know there's an IMSU person here, and I'm just giving it to her, right? But I don't know, man. I was really disappointed with the IMSU this thing, and he really wanted to discourage me. I'll tell you for sure.
Hello, sir. Please, can
Yeah.
I talk?
I don't know. Do you want to defend IMSU now, or what exactly do you want to say?
No, I just want to add to what you said. Not that I really want to defend them.
Okay, them, but you are one of them, you.
Yes, yes, I'm one of them. Not that I just want, I like not that I want to defend my school. Okay, the issue there is just like you said, like my school, like most students, just like you've said, they don't really have this zeal, or I don't know. But to some extent, I guess most of them are really innocent, like ignorant. It's something that maybe they have to be more educated and enlightened more about the program. Though some of them might know what it entails, but they seem not to be interested. While most have to be taught and they need to be explained things to before they will be able to key into it. For instance, in my department, the dean of my department is my lecturer, and she's always talking about this kind of program, leadership programs, building resilience for students, like for my own particular set in my class. So because of her deliberate explanation about how this leadership works and building yourself, most of my course mates, most of them that on a normal basis, they don't care about developing themselves and all this other stuff. But because of how the woman will come to class, even before she started teaching us, she will explain things to them, tell them how they can develop themselves, get into programs that will position them for the future. In all of this, most of them will be able to like change their mindset. Like now, I guess maybe the next time they want to go for this kind of program, like I guess maybe collaborating with the faculty officers as a means of advertising the programs, maybe through the deans, through the HODs. It's not going to be easy, but it's something that they will have to deliberate on it. Just me, my personal self, if I should be among it, because I would love to be part of it, definitely. I would want to like go speak with my dean, and through the access of my dean, I know that he can speak to the whole faculty, the whole of my faculty, because she's the dean of the faculty. And this is someone that I know that she's so passionate about young people. This hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, this is someone I know that she's so passionate about young people discovering themselves, discovering their purpose, not just for only themselves, but also for the growth of the society. So I guess if they should develop a means through which they can collaborate with faculties, deans, officers, lecturers, so that they'll be able to maybe communicate with their students, maybe after lecture or whatsoever way they can, because I think when we come through that means, the student might tend to listen. Maybe when that the program something is
Right.
coming directly from the mouth of their lecturer or from the dean or someone they can actually give a more listening ears to, they'll be able to understand. Because most of them don't, I don't know, but I can't say I'm defending my school, but most of them lack the zeal. They don't have the zeal. But what I've discovered again is most are ignorant at the same time. Why some knows, but they don't just want to queue into the program.
All right, thank you so much for that.
Okay.
We're going to suspend our conversation today and just begin. So because of we still have some internal PFF projects to talk about, I would say if you want to invite people to this call, invite them next on Thursday, because we are just going to conclude this and then go into applying for things. If you know
Okay.
you are a graduate here, you just finished graduationing, and you want to apply for an international scholarship in a foreign school. I know some of you have graduated. And you want us to use you as an example to apply. Okay, I'll pay your application fee, I don't care. We'll use your application and learn and try it. But you have to meet me in person and say, Uncle Sop, let's use me. I volunteer myself as the guinea pig.
Thank you.
So that's what we are going to do. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to say a big thank you for all of you. I'm so sorry we overshot the time by an entire hour. I was hoping we end at 9:30, but here we are. Please come on tomorrow at 7 o'clock so that we can finish all these conversations by 7:30, and then we're going to, because I really want people to win things, win scholarship, win grants, win money, like, so that by the time you win 100 million, you can give us 1 million to do projects. We need to raise funds. You see that? That's the idea. And I look forward to all of that. So good night, everyone. Just have these conversations at the back of your mind, and we'll continue tomorrow by 7. Have a nice evening.